And Lennon goes, 1, 2, 3, boom. All you need is that. They never stopped. He just got to the end of the one song, of the take, and repeated it for like a half an hour straight through. Okay, we'll come in and listen. And they picked one take. I can't remember, take 23 or whatever it was. That's the one. We're going to go home now. See ya. And that was the story. It was great. Stone story. Do you want to hear a quick Stone story? Yeah, really. Okay. Control room is on this side, looking out. And there's big double doors over here. And I'm sitting in the control room to the right side next to the tape machine. And I've got a clear shot of the studio and the double doors. And on my left eye, I can see Glyn Johns and the producer, whose name is just escaping me for temporarily. No, it was later. I mean, earlier, excuse me. No brain left. Andrew Luke Oldham, thank you very much. Okay. Now, Andrew Luke Oldham has a walking pharmacy in his briefcase. Every bloody drug known to mankind was in this briefcase. And the clouds of hash and tobacco and grass were floating up. And everybody's like, and out in the studio, there's Jagger trying to sing, na 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 na. Who knows where that's from? Famous Stone song. It's the Middle 8 Bridge, and there's a story attached to it, and I'll tell you what happens. In the middle of him trying to sing the song, I look out and I see the doors of the studio open, and they're the two of the largest English policemen I've ever seen. And I said to Glyn, and they're standing there like this. That's how English policemen go. They go, they do this whole thing with their hands behind their backs, polished boots. They were motorcycle guys, they were the elite, right? I said, Glyn, for Christ's sakes, the fuzz are here. And he says, without missing a beat, there was a little talkback button that he could get into the headphones. Thank God they had that. And he hit the talkback button to make it. Says, Mick, the fuzz are here. Don't panic. We'll entertain them for a second. We'll try and clear the control room, because the control room was like full of smoke and dope and God knows what else. And in those days, there was a famous English detective who was trying to bust all the Stones and all the Beatles, which he eventually did, quite a few of them. So they were shit scared anyway. So it was like a Chinese fire drill. Doors were flying open, people were trying to get the smoke to clear. It was like total panic. So Mick, being super cool, he says, without missing a beat, turns around to the cops and says, "Oi, come over here." Us? So these two cops come. They come over to Mick. He says, "Listen, I'm having a problem here with my headphones. Can you help me?" And I swear to God, I almost died on the floor. He has one big cup with one finger on one ear and the other cup with another on the other of his headphones. And he's trying to sing, and these two cups are holding their headphones. It's great. Well, and then that middle bit of the song that I was singing, na 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 na. He says, "I tell you what, stop the tape. I've got an idea. Can I borrow your truncheons?" Now, you know what truncheons are, right? They're nightsticks, big. So he grabs these two nightsticks, and in the middle 8, he clicks them together like a set of claves. And you can hear it if you listen to the record. Now, I'm not going to tell you what record. You guys are going to have to guess it now, because I've given you enough clues. And he thanked them, and all they wanted were autographs. And he and the rest of the band signed autographs, and they went away. Apparently what had happened was the studio door downstairs had been left open, and outside was 2 Rolls Royces. One was an Aston Martin. I mean, there was a row of about $500,000 worth of cars outside. So obviously they were curious, with the door open, and so that's the story. strange things with the Stones. No more digression. Questions? Go for it. Anybody? Go ahead.
Being a noted studio engineer, how do you compare your experiences in the studio as to being out in the field live recording?
Wait. How do I compare my experiences to what?
To being out in the field doing live recording?
Different. Live recording I enjoy because it's really a challenge. No going back. I mean, you can, yes. But you're dealing with so many different elements. The PA system, the band's mood, the audience reaction, not much separation, all that kind of thing. I love live recording. I mean, I've done a bit of it, and fortunately I've been fairly successful at it. But it's so different from studio recording. It's no second chance, virtually. You got to get it right. You just have to. And there's an incredible adrenaline rush when they're just about to go on stage, and it's like, nah. It's great. I get a huge buzz from that. Just a very short one about Led Zeppelin doing "The Song Remains the Same," which is a very sad story, in fact, because I do wish that Warner Brothers had the foresight to have allowed my original. I had done the first 4-track Dolby surround sound mix in those days, which was it hadn't been done before, and they chickened out. They didn't want to spend the money in putting the systems in the theater, and then consequently they lost my 8-track mixes. And so what they did was they took a 4-track mix of mine and dubbed it down to, and they completely screwed the whole thing up. And to this day, that sound is not what I mixed. I had a thing where, that scene where Jimmy's hitting the bow on the guitar. I had it crisscrossing. I had each hit. The sound was on one side, and the repeat echo was on the other side of the hall, and it was just like that, and it was so cool sounding, and they lost all of that, so I was very pissed off about it. I'm in the truck recording this thing, and at the end of the show, I thought I'm in the middle of an earthquake. The whole truck is literally going up and down like this. The Madison Square Garden, I found out later, is designed in such a way that the floor actually gives. And the truck is on the floor, and of course all the kids are doing that, and the truck is going up and down. I said, holy shit, what's going on? And needless to say, it stopped, but it was a pretty scary moment there. I thought, my God, we're going to fall in somewhere. There are many other stories attached to that whole Zeppelin thing, but it's yes.
Sort of on that Led Zeppelin note, what did you think of the Plant and Page reunion, and do you know why John Paul Jones was not asked to play on that?
I thought it was exceptionally rude of them, and I think he said that to that effect. I think when they were being the Grammys, wasn't it? Yeah, he says, thank you for getting my phone number. Yeah, right. Jimmy Page doesn't intentionally forget anybody, so he has their number. He had his number. I think it was a question of Jimmy and Robert wanting to glom the whole thing for themselves, and why should they involve John Paul Jones? I thought it was very selfish, quite frankly, and not a good move. On the other hand, the performance of Robert and Jimmy with the orchestra and the new rhythm section I thought was very good, and I thought that it's the best I've heard him play in an awful long time, and I highly commend it. Yes.
First, I'd like to personally thank you for coming and taking the time to talk with us this evening.
My pleasure.
A little bit on the digression side, I'd very much be interested to hearing about Woodstock from your perspective.
Nightmare.
I
Total,
can imagine.
utter nightmare. I was up for 3 days and 3 nights. I had vitamin B shots in my bum. It was very painful. I thought Jimmy's performance was not good with very few exceptions. I thought that when he went on Monday morning, he was supposed to go on Sunday night. I thought that was terrible. Most of the crowd had left. It was muddy. It was miserable. However, that's from my personal perspective. There were some grand moments. There were some great bits of music. I always focus on the Jimmy's performance. He had a band I didn't think was very good. They were under-rehearsed. They were sloppy. Jimmy was the star.